Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Friday, the 20th of November. All right, now the major sort of news pushing things around. There's not a lot of activity, but the US dollar's just taken a bit of a backward step there as US stimulus talks look to be set to resume. Right now, this takes a fair bit of uncertainty off the table. There's a fair bit of uncertainty around the US election, right? That gave the dollar a bit of a backbone of support, and this stimulus package, which was off the table. Also creates a huge amount of uncertainty with the US economy and everything else. Now, that creates a bit of a safe haven flow into the dollar, and that's why the dollar was being held up. Now, you take those uncertainties off the table, and we're starting to look like we might see a good dollar move to the downside. Now, just on the hourlies, you can see, this little bit of to and froing through short-term resistance. But just below that, we've got longer-term support. Now, I'll show you the daily market insight in a second. This is the major focus for me. It's a big target. This 92.20 level on the dailies looks like it could be ready to go. US equities slightly up, no big deal there. But you come over here to the charts. So what we saw is a bit of dollar strength, right, with all the uncertainty. So if that news hadn't come out about the stimulus talks coming back or resuming, we probably would have seen a bigger move on some of these pairs, the Euro, Aussie, Kiwi and sterling, as I sort of mentioned yesterday, really focusing on the Aussie. Good to see a couple of traders get in there and take at least 20 points off the table while it was on offer. And this is why you need something like Metastock, right? Because if you don't have access to the news, well, you're in the trade, it starts to shift against you on the new news. And I mean, worst case scenario, if you're already, that trade was already down about 30 points, your trade's probably a break even, but you don't take anything out of it. So just keep that in mind. So what we've got a situation is that the currency pairs are ready to go, and it's almost basically just stalled, right? So if you really adjust your lines to say the current market situations or the new sort of lows we saw, which would be happening at the start of the Asian session, I just left these up. We've got just a little shift in the support trend line, but no other real changes. And same for dollar CAD, actually. That's pretty much it. So when you come back to look at it, we're still long-term. The trend hasn't changed, right? Now, if I just bring you back to the daily market insight, make it a bit easier for me to explain. So market conditions still being tossed around, okay? Pretty average trading conditions because we don't have that clear directional force. Long-term direction, pretty consistent, but the short-term momentum has really died, right? That shift back in the dollar has really sent everything back into a sideways. I still like the Kiwi up though. And we've got some close levels here to focus on. But a little bit further, if we can get the dollar index down through 92.20, well, momentum is definitely down. That'll line up with a short-term and medium or short-term and long-term trend down. And that's where I could see probably one of the better trading opportunities for today. Just keep an eye on the dollar index. Bearish, looking for a breakdown through 92.20. 92.10, bit of an entry, and then set the trade plan in play. And that's a daily chart too, so it's a pretty big level. You'd think there'd be pretty big stops under 92, the figure in the dollar index. It'd be nice to see those triggered leading into the weekend. All right, guys, have a good one. All the very best. Cheerio.